Show. It is part 2 of a 2-part episode brought to you by Livestream Solutions Livestream Academy in conjunction with Practice Momentum. So please welcome your host for today from Livestream Solutions. It's the founder and head of Livestreaming and Engagement, Joe Shepherd, and from Practice Momentum, the fantastic Jill Woods.
Woo!
And as if by magic,
what can you do with an introduction like that?
And as if by magic, all of those component parts work. So stay with us today, because on today's show, you're welcome. On today's show, we're going to have a brief recap on part 1, what we covered a couple of weeks ago, and that is still available on Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy's outlets, and on Practice Momentums. And today we'll welcome everybody from the Practice Momentum Group, a fantastic agency set up by Jill to support and help with marketing for private healthcare businesses. So we're going to cover the what and why. What is live streaming and why is it important to businesses, and especially to all those wonderful people within Jill's environment? We're going to cover the where. Where can you live stream and how? And for the first time ever, we are going to go behind the scenes into the studio, and we're going to show you how it all works and dispel some myths so anybody can do it. And the old thing about me is I've got a face for radio, and I learned how to do this so that if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. And then we're going to talk about who can do it and when you can do. So keep it right here on today's episode, courtesy of Livestream Solutions.
Let's just get into it then.
I tell you, I should just put that on a loop for about an hour. We'd probably be better listening to me. So, Jill Woods, welcome. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very cold. I'm back in the UK and it's blinking. I'm used to 30 odd degrees every day, and it's definitely not 30 odd degrees now.
Brilliant. So, literally 60 seconds. Tell us about Practice Momentum, who you are and why you set it up, just as part of a quick recap.
Yeah, so Practice Momentum is an organisation that supports the owners of micro and tiny healthcare practices so that they can understand marketing better, apply it in their business so that they can reach out and support and help more patients. In a nutshell, that is what we do. My background is I am a podiatrist, a qualified podiatrist. I don't treat anymore, but I trained in marketing and PR before I became a podiatrist. Now I've kind of smushed those two things together, and there we have Practice Momentum, which goes beautifully. It's all virtual and it sits alongside my crazy nomadic life as a military wife. So that's me in a nutshell.
Absolutely superb. This is really, really good. And we came up with, after we did part 1, which explained your backstory and how you got in, and the success stories of some of your fantastic team, because you've got people across the globe,
yes,
you know, chiropractors and podiatrists and physios and all sorts of people within that who needed help.
Yes.
World class in what they provide.
Correct.
And needing some assistance in marketing and organizational change and structure and things like that. And you bring all that together. Correct,
Mundo. Yes, yeah, and I say we can help anybody in an English-speaking country, because I'm really rubbish at languages. we stick to English-speaking countries, but apart from that, it's what we do is pretty universal. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just for anybody, if anybody wants to put any comments in today, then feel free. If you're watching on catch up, just put a C in there, say hi, tell us where you're from, and we will get back to you in due course, either on my side of things from the Academy and the Solutions, or Jill's side on the Practice Momentum. So, Jill.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you to everybody who's watching us. I can see we've got eyes watching us, which is very exciting. And part of the objective for today really is to help my target audience, healthcare practitioners, understand how they can use live streaming to, as I say, reach out and connect with more of their potential patients and to build a real community. If you read my blog post, my predictions for 2024, marketing in healthcare practice for 2024, like number 4 on that list, I think, was building community. And it's going to be more important than ever for you to build a sense of community around your practice, not just a business with a list of patients. That is no longer going to cut the mustard. You need to have a real human connection with all of these people who are potential patients, who are referrers, who are existing patients, your team members. Everybody needs to be part of this community. And what I see live streaming can really help with that part and a whole heap of other stuff that we're going to come on and talk about. But before I start waffling on about that, Joe, can you, in simple terms, in kind of 2 elements, explain what live streaming is in its simplest format and what live streaming can look like if you're able to use a dashboard like the dashboard that you're using today?
Okay, first and foremost, we always have this. Obviously, I've got it. We're going to show you around everywhere in the background shortly, so you'll see that I'm not sat in a fancy office somewhere, or it's actually
or your dad's spare bedroom, like I am.
That's spare bedroom, because but I'll also show you how simple this can be with a little bit of equipment, and you don't need fancy lights that are blazing in your eyes with stuff. But we always have this. This is what we call you can see that, yeah, it's called, it's because of the green screen. It's called a show running order. And what we do is with the client, we always curate that together. So basically it's telling a story and it builds. It's loose. It doesn't have to follow everything line by line, because one of the things that you will see shortly is for some of the bigger shows, we have a separate host, and in the background, for the rugby parlance, it's a TMO truck. We've got a producer and director who's moving all the parts like this. So the reason I did that is because you will see my eyes go from side to side from time, because when you see excuse me, the back office, you're going to understand why. Because when you're combined host and producing and directing, there are lots of moving parts, but it is simple. And the reason that we're showing you and telling you all of these things is because we've been doing this for 6-7 years now. And it is an awful lot cheaper than going into a studio. You don't need up to sort of, 6, 8, 10 people to be able to do it. Live streaming, and we put our notes together so that we can refer to. You don't have to remember everything. It's good. It's all about the prior preparation and planning prevents poor performance, as we would have said in the military. And that's where it comes from. Live streaming as a service is what this is. We go into a virtual studio. So Jill,
rewind. In the simplest terms, before we talk about the studio, in simplest terms, what is live streaming?
Live streaming is being able to engage. Live streaming there's a whole range of different things on live streaming, but so you've got from Netflix and Prime and all those what they call OTT, over the top, and then live streaming is being able to go live on a myriad, whether it's your website, myriad of platforms like Facebook Live, Instagram, YouTube. It allows you in real time to be able to broadcast live using a professional looking studio with all the bells and whistles, the overlays, the logos, you can put, I don't even know what this banner was for, but there we go. That was from a meeting we did last week. Just an example to show you what can be done. So live streaming allows you to be able to go live in simple terms, very cheap, very effective, and to engage with your current and hopefully future followers, clients, fans, etc., etc., etc. It allows, nowadays, all organizations need to be able to do 2 things: elevate their brand and to be able to build a thriving, engaged community. There is nothing in this world that allows you to be able to engage and build a thriving, engaged community better than live streaming. And it's all done with a click of a button in real time. But it's also there on catch up in perpetuity.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but it's one of the things that I really love about the idea about live stream. One, it does give you this person-to-person engagement. You can look me in the eye, I can look you in the eye. You can get this real engagement, energy, all that, real connection going. But also it all gets part recorded, and I'm going to talk about how you can then spin this one piece of content in onto lots and lots of different platforms, so that it is for me, it's effective, but it's also a really good use of your resources, your time, money, and energy, because it is going to enable you, like the thumbs up, it's going to enable you to make the most of this one moment in time where you're not going to be sitting here with Joe, but you're going to be sitting here with whoever, or just by yourself. This one moment in time is going to last you in marketing terms for months, because you're going to be able to spin it out as much as you can, as well as you've had that real-time engagement, it then is going to sit in your marketing library, your little Dropbox folders, wherever you want to put all the bits and pieces. And Joe's going to talk about all those different elements that they can create for you. But it's how you can then spin this one moment in time out for months and months and months to come, which I love.
And it's very important, excuse me, to remember those two things. A lot of organizations will think that marketing and social media and live streaming, it's what I call the trilogy of engagements we spoke about in part one a couple of weeks ago there. And those three things, probably easier when you're a small to medium business, because actually there may only be you doing it, or there'll be a couple of you in your organization doing it. But it's important that this isn't seen as like the emperor's new clothes, the be all and end all. It is brilliant, but it has to fit in with two things. One, the marketing and your marketing and social media strategy, so it becomes part of that trilogy of engagement. And secondly, as you just alluded to, we here have developed this content, a repurposing package. So you take the one repurpose, to repurpose all the content. So rather than just doing the live streaming, we'll go through this with everybody after, we're able to repurpose the one show into a myriad of things as a package, which effectively, from our perspective, as a business service, is something we only put together after we went live, because we had options of doing a number of things for different clients. And then I had a eureka moment one day, actually, while I was sat in jury service, which was 3 days after I had launched the business. I was stuck in court for a week, and I was like, that's brilliant, Shep. Can I write home and tell everybody how good I've been? So anyway, we put this together because it's one of the things with clients, especially yours, are so busy. If you can give them a one-stop shop, it takes the problem away.
Yeah. And the point I really want to drive home here is, if you are or I call tiny and micro practice, you can go live on Facebook, you can go live on Instagram, you can go live on YouTube, but you need a platform like this if you are going to repurpose and spin that content and do it seamlessly across the platform. So we are simultaneously, you can go live on lots of different places, but if you want to do it yourself, you absolutely can, and you can literally go live on Facebook, which I do inside the academy, I do inside the Thrivers Club every week. I go live just inside that Facebook group, and you can do that on the platform, but without a dashboard that sits behind it, like the one that Joe's using. You can't then do all this other stuff. So you can still use live streaming to build a community and to build that human connection, but then you're going to struggle to do all the other stuff that we're going to talk about. I just wanted to kind of lay that foundation. And
even, to be fair, using some of the overlays or short videos, if you're going live organically, they call it going live in a Facebook group or a page, you don't have that same capability.
Oh no,
and it's all, and that's the big difference.
I hate Facebook Live, and I still use it because I've been a bit rubbish about sorting this thing out. But sorry, but I still use Facebook Live. But it's rubbish because you can't see who's watching, you can't engage with people, and people, you can see the old thumb go across the screen, but you can't see comments. It doesn't work anywhere near as well as this platform does. So yeah.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely superb. So that's what live streaming is. There's a whole pile of different things to that, which we'll get into. But now we're on to the why.
Oh, why? Okay, so just give me 1 second. If you could, Joe, if you could just share my screen, I'd be very grateful. Tell me when we're good.
We're good.
We're good. Okay. So I just want to quickly go through the why, because I know my target audience, healthcare practitioners, you're in your practice, you're like, Jill, for crying out loud, isn't this just another thing to do, like another thing on my marketing to-do list? And I want to allay some of those fears. So I just want to quickly go through why this is so powerful in terms of your marketing. So is it just another thing on your to-do list? Yes and no. So yes, you're going to need to put some work in. Like Joe's already said, we've put together a session plan for this. He called it something swanky, but I'm just calling it a session plan. We put together a plan for what we're going to talk about in this live. So you do need to put some groundwork in. Now, that said, I've seen plenty of people who are like spontaneously going live. And if you've got that confidence in your subject matter, and if you've got that confidence to show up on camera at the drop of a hat, then absolutely you can just go live spontaneously. But most of the time, you're going to need to put a little bit of some work in so that you've planned your session, you know what you're going to talk about, and you kind of got yourself at least a post-it with some bullet points on it. But the great thing with this is you can do this instead of masses of other individual pieces of marketing. And I'm going to explain how that's going to work. So we need two things. Oh, I think I've got three things on my list. Yes. So live streaming, okay, is going to, number one, build human connection. Build human connection. Number two, it's going to connect a community around your practice. And number three, it's going to speed up this marketing cycle. Oh, and number four, it's going to create leverage, which is so important. When you are a single-handed practitioner or somebody working in a very small practice where you're literally spinning all the plates, if you can embrace live streaming and use it as one resource, you are going to be able to leverage that resource across a myriad of different things. So let's just talk about this human connection to start with. People buy from people, all right? And that is no, what's the word? That is absolutely happening inside healthcare. And because if you think about it, most of us in healthcare, most of us physical therapists, we invade people's personal space. We touch their bodies, you know, when we are doing the treatments. Maybe not if you're a speech and language therapist, but 9 times out of 10, most people running healthcare practices, you're invading people's space. And so people need to have some faith in you. They need to like you as a person, all of that stuff, so that they're buying their services from somebody they've already made a decision about, i.e. they're a person that they can trust and that they like. Okay, so remember that people buy from people, and that's where live streaming comes in. You get to look me in the eye, hear the tone of my voice, feel my energy, all of those things. And then the other thing is that live video connects people. So we're talking about people buying from people, and then we're layering in this live video engagement that enables you to even see inside my dad's spare bedroom. You're seeing into my world when you're seeing me on a live video, which gives you much more of a human connection to me than if I pre-recorded something, edited it, uploaded a load of fancy things to the screen and then shared on Facebook. You're not going to get that same human connection. So live video really enables you to get this human connection going. And number two, it's going to connect your community. And it's really important to understand how community works. Community works on 3 types of engagement, or 3 types of 3-way communication. You to them. So in this instance, this is me speaking directly to you wherever you are. So we've got that bit of communication going on. It enables you to type in the chat, type in a comment. You know, you can then engage with me via live video, via live streaming. And also, because we can get this chat going inside the software thing, I can't think of the word, but anyway, you know what I mean, then you can then talk with each other. So a live stream via a platform enables you to build these 3 ways of communication to connect you and to your community to you, and your community to each other, which is really important. The other thing is it's going to speed up your marketing cycle. If you don't know me by now, crikey Riley, where have you been? Under a rock. This is your patient marketing cycle. Know, like, trust, try, buy, repeat, refer. And live streaming is going to help people know that you exist, because you're going to have a more obvious presence. You're going to be going live on your Facebook page. You're going to be going live on your YouTube channel. You're going to be going live in your Instagram account, or wherever you want to go live, okay, even on your own website. So you're going to have a much more obvious presence. So people are going to know that you exist. Because it's live, like I've already said, you can hear me, the tone of my voice, you can see my gesticulations. You can't at the moment, but you can see my gesticulations. It's really authentic. And so for there, you can decide if you like me as a person. Okay. The next part of the cycle is clinical trust. Can people trust you clinically? And live streaming is going to enable you to demonstrate some of your clinical expertise. either through talking and educating, or showing a case study, or showing some before and after videos of range of motion, or before and after dermatological changes, or whatever it is. You can demonstrate your clinical expertise and therefore build trust via a live video. You can teach some skills. So you can teach exercises, whether that's vocal exercises, whether that's stretching exercises, whether that's warm-up exercises for runners, doesn't matter. You can teach skills that your potential patients can go away and try before they buy. Okay, so that moves them further around this patient marketing cycle. They can try your expertise via live streaming without getting out their credit card. And then at the end of your live streaming, you can always throw in a call to action. So book now, or buy something, or, pick up the phone, call us, we'll talk to you, we'll answer your questions, whatever it is. So by putting in a call to action, again, you're moving people around that to that next stage of the cycle, which is buy. Okay, so we've covered know, like, trust, try, and buy. And all of that is going to be impacted positively by embracing live streaming. And then finally, this creating leverage, and I'm going to invite Joe to talk a little bit more about this, but if you do one 20-minute presentation, okay, you can multicast onto multiple platforms simultaneously. So you're not doing a video on Facebook and then a video on YouTube and a video on Instagram. And onto your own website. You can literally multicast this in one click of a button onto all these different platforms, okay? But then also from that, you are going to take a recording, and the audio from that recording can be used to create a podcast. Then that gives you 24/7 searchable marketing if you've got a podcast. You can take the transcript from your recording, from your video, and create a blog post from that. It takes a little bit of tweaking, and again, Joe will talk to that, but you can create a blog post. You can split the video that's been recorded down into shorts. So you can use it on TikTok, you can use it on Instagram stories, you can use it on Facebook stories, okay? You can create these shorts. Shorts can go onto your YouTube channel as well. You can then also do some quick still images from those videos to use as social media posts. And from the content within your recording, you can lift some key quotes and create some quote posts that you can use in social media as well. So there's so many different ways that you can leverage this 1 20-minute live performance that is, even while you're going live, is building relationships and human connection. After that, you've still got this opportunity to share all this other stuff. That was all I wanted to say. Thank you, Joe. If you can unshare my screen, I'd be grateful.
There we go. Absolutely brilliant. And actually, I was just playing around there as a kid, because one of the great things about being able to use that is I was going in, and we were lucky to get live today because, as everybody knows, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, everything crashed the other day. And we weren't sure what we were doing. It caused havoc this week. There are still problems. So we are not seeing comments coming in from Facebook pages, profiles. So I've just tested that, because I've been into my page and tested it. I've been into my profile. But then I went into YouTube, and hey, voila, that is working. So you can put... there are some constraints with live streaming in the fact that Facebook, for example, so YouTube, you can put your comment in there, and we can then show that up. You can ask a question in real time or afterwards. And so even when you're not live, you can then go back to people afterwards and re-engage with them as well, which is really, really good. Most of the things that Jill has covered, excuse me, I don't need to cover, but we came up with this whole idea of a repurposing package. One of the things we get asked is, why do we include organizational change in what we do within live streaming? Because most businesses and organizations are too busy and don't have a structure. There we go. So Jill's just put some comments up there. Straight in it comes. You too could have your name, your avatar, and your question in real time. And see. We have a little trick at the bottom, you see. We can add a comment in directly in the studio, and it will go across to all of you. So, so as Jill's just done there, we can pick out in the studio. I'll show you that one in a second as well. She's nicking all my stuff today. It's brilliant. It's brilliant having somebody who has gone away and learned how this thing works quickly. So the repurposing package, organizational change. What we do is we specialize in Google Workspaces, and we're able to put information management folder structures together with everything that you need. So instead of you having all of your data, content, client files, this, that, everywhere, and an awful lot of people do, everybody's the same. Very few people are all over their information management. But having it in one location, and what I do is I'm former global head of information and knowledge management for 127 units of the MOD's department, and I build that folder structure with you. What are your requirements? So that allows me then.
Can I just emphasize that, guys? Did you hear that? Because I've worked with so many healthcare practitioners and practices who have folders, including me, folders all over the place. Joe is an information ninja. He'll create this structure that it lifts the weight off your shoulders because you know where to go to find this stuff. It's just like a breath of fresh air.
It is. Excuse me. It is, and it's boring as hell. But you know what?
But somebody's got to do it. As long as it's not me, I don't mind.
And this is why. So we offer that. So when we do our discovery meeting with a new client initially, I find out an awful lot about them. And then I find out how the business is structured, what they do. So I then understand. There's today, we built today on 6 questions, and they are from Rudyard Kipling, who wrote Jungle Book. And to paraphrase him, he had an expression which said, 6 good brothers have I true, what, where, when, why, how, and who. You ask those 6 things to anything in life. You don't need any fancy business plan. Trust me, I've been at the highest levels and I've tried all of them. Those 6 things in simple terms will always give you a natural conclusion of what you are, where you need to go. So information management, it's an evil necessary, but I tell you what, when you know where all of your data, your content, your files, your folders, client lists, yes, we use Google, other things apparently are available. That's my choice. That's what I teach. So, but we build that for people. So that is one of the things we offer in our full monthly package. We then work with the client and we create this normally an hour-long show to begin with. And Jill's got some very exciting news for some of her clients only in the academy, excuse me, at the end of this show. So stay with us to find out what that news is. So we then do an hour-long live show. We can then download from our studio both the video file and a separate audio file. We then turn them into podcasts, so they can then go out through podcasts. So it's another range. We can then take that whole hour-long show or small clips, which is why before, for example, you'll see me do this. On the first show, we did this a lot. So Jill would be talking and I would be recording that bit. So I knew then when I go into our editing studio, I do it. I found myself, I thought it was thick as mint and not able to do it. But even I have managed to learn how to do it. But we have somebody who does that. And we can clip out small clips of anything from 30 seconds up to 2 minutes or so. And then we can edit them together and they become shorts that you can then repurpose elsewhere. We can take the transcript and we can turn that into a blog. I hate the word blog, don't I? An article on Insight. An article tends to be 1,500 to 2,000 words or more. An Insight is a miniature version of that, which is 800 to 1,500. So if you want a snapshot. And within that blog article, we put the link to the original full show. So everything leads back. As Jill says, you can take images and all of that. We use a very, very exciting social media content scheduling system called Missing Letter. And we have a specialist within that Missing Letter who works as our head of scheduling and content, and she is brilliant. And she wants to be brilliant because she's their head of customer service and their head of education and training. So we work with her and with them, and we can provide a virtual workspace that allows drip campaigns. So over 2 weeks up to 9 months. So all of these things that you take from one show, it's a one-stop shop.
And that's the power. That for me, it's like you know, the compounding of money, like you can
Yeah.
compound interest. Like this is like the compounding of live
It
video.
is.
You get the initial investment, which is the 20 minutes or whatever, sitting in front of the camera, doing your live video, creating human connection. And then you get, thank you. And then you get that compounding of effect by spinning it in all these different ways.
Absolutely. Excuse me. I'm just giggling at two. I'm not giggling at two things. Brilliant that we've got somebody on. Right. This is a Facebook problem because Practice Momentum, and I guarantee this has come from Practice Momentum's Academy,
Okay.
because it's an interesting thing that we don't have any control. We don't have any control of. For a page which is completely open on Facebook, it identifies you all straight away. In a private group, where it's private for a reason, you then have to give special permission. We have no control. So Facebook, whoever you are, let us know who you are and where you're from. Yes, it is brilliant, and you're obviously one of Jill's wonderful people. And get back to her. If you're inside the academy, I'll tell you this figure: 10. Only 10 we will be working with in the next phase of what we're doing together. So, but I'm not saying any more because I'll get in trouble, because I promised Jill she'd announce us right at the very end. So thanks for watching, whoever you are. But just, again, part of this teach and tell today is explaining some of those things that you see. So yeah, that's thanks for sharing this as info. Warwickshire here. Great, welcome Warwickshire. That's a great name though, Warwickshire. It's a bit like mine, live stream. It's pretty cool. Seriously, great to have you here. I'm glad that we're being able to share some stuff with you. So yeah, there's loads. We could go on for hours. Jill, we need to.
Did you call me Jill?
That's because my partner's name is Gillian, and I'm in auto man mode. I am a modern man. I'm a modern man. I'm in auto mode. So, I remember birthdays and things. Sorry, Joe.
Don't worry. Jonathan, yes. Hi, Jonathan. So Jonathan is my co-author. Jonathan and I wrote the book together. So Jonathan is my my co-author in the Elevate book. So hi, Jonathan.
Jonathan, great to meet you. You don't see names then. In groups, it's a Facebook thing. You can, excuse me, where we schedule the show out today, and I'm going to show you just now so we can move on. Where you schedule that out into the academy, at the bottom of the schedule post, StreamYard on Facebook will have put a thing in there. There's a link that you can click. Basically, you're giving permission inside a private group. Like I said, we have no control of that. And that's why we don't see your name until you've given Facebook additional permissions inside of. Let's not go on. You get the point. So yes, normally you would see. So like for example, before I went into, we put this on up, but it comes directly from us. Whereas when I went in earlier on, for example, onto YouTube, so this one came directly just from YouTube in, whereas. What Jill did before effectively was went to the bottom of our studio and did that.
Yes.
And it will we then send a message out from the studio saying hi to all of those. We're going live in 8 different locations. Multicasting, it's called. So you multicast to 8 different locations in Facebook. I'm live on Instagram. We're in YouTube in a couple of different locations. We're on Twitter, and we are live on Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, on YouTube. So there we go. Good. What's amazing is Facebook is subtitling you before you've even spoken the words. That's again. There are some quirks. Let's not deny it. We all know. But there we go. Right. So let's have a look at where you can go and how you can do it.
Yeah, let's open the door.
Okay, and as if by magic, this is what I've opened up. I've just shared you another studio. Excuse me. So what we've got there is when you sign in to, let me put my gigs on. When you sign into StreamYard, this is the back office of the virtual studio. So I will just move into that. On the top right-hand side, and you should see all this. Tell me if you're not seeing anything, Jill. Account, it gives you all of your details there. And it's even got partner resources, and partner resources are things that will help you. So tutorials, and overlays and free stuff that you can download and use. So that's all in the account section. When you go to sign in, you can either sign in with your Google account or you have a password protected system. You then send you an email with a 6-figure code for secondary security, which I love. And then when you get in, this is what you see. So this is today's show that is live now. And it is still sat there because I'm live in the other one. So it is still ongoing. These three, brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure you. Let me just check you've seen that. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
These other three here are 3 admin links that I have permanently for meetings that I have for clients or whatever. It means that I can do, if a client is interested in taking a look and having a chat, I bring them into the studio. So they see straight away at what's available with a banner running along with a banner, for example, like this running along saying, welcome Jill Woods and practice momentum with, I always find the logo, which you see in the top right hand corner. Yeah. So there we are. So it's these sort of things. You'll see upcoming. So that's those there. I've got some that are in the past. So all my shows in the past, the ones that I haven't downloaded or have downloaded, but I haven't yet deleted off, still have view on it. And so, for example, this is one of our rugby shows from February. You can see it all there. This is where we went live, or my team, the Ulster Rugby Roundup show, White Walks Chat and Crack, went live on all of those. And you can download. So when you click download, as you'll see, you can do the full recording, just the audio, or the beta system of the transcript. There's 2 versions of that. There's either .text or .vtt. So again, those are still there. So that's what you'll see in the back office straight away. Down at the bottom there, referrals, because StreamYard are brilliant and they pay some money for people who join based on our recommendation. Team settings, so I invite people like Jill and some of the other people I'm working with to be a team member. So I do all the settings there. And again, from the top, this is our homepage. Library. In here, until you delete them all, are all the recent shows. So I've just left these in there to show, but basically these will go. If you'll see the very bottom left, you see that you get 50 hours of storage on the plan that I'm on. There are a number of different plans. And the plan I'm on, I can keep up to 50 hours of shows. But I obviously download them regularly because we reuse them. We put them into the information files, into the structure. And again, it tells you when that one was done. And again, you can do that. You can edit the title. You can edit and repurpose in the studio. In fact, if I click on that, there you go. So you can do shorts and reels. Did you see that, Jill? Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, great. So you can do the video 69 or the shorts. So you can repurpose, excuse me, within StreamYard itself, which is absolutely fantastic. And then when you finish with those, you can then delete them out of your system so you're not using up your hours if you do a lot. I had to spend 3 days a couple of weeks ago going through them all because it had been a while. So that's what the library. So you got home there. That's what you see when you come in. Upcoming shows, past shows if they're still there. The library, we see that there. Destinations. Now, this is where you associate every single social platform to the studio.
Mm-hmm. And this is what allows this simultaneously broadcasting.
It is, yeah, multicasting. Multicasting. And what you can do is you can multicast up to 8 individual locations. You can ask StreamYard for more if you've got a specific things on. But generally, that's fine because you should be, as you said, Jill, in the last show, picking the areas that you want is key on where you want to go to. Agreed?
Yeah, absolutely. So as long as if you know who your dream patient is, you know which platforms they're going to be on, and therefore you can just focus on those. So I always say to people, like, if you're a tiny micro practice, your time is limited, pick one social media platform, and create a YouTube channel and then you've got your website and your Google business profile. Those are the 4 bits of digital real estate that I recommend every practice has. One social media platform, one YouTube channel, your own website, and your Google business profile. And you can stream to 3 of those.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are all the destinations that I have got that I use on a fairly regular basis. So as you say there, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook groups and pages, Twitter, Instagrams, and I add and take those away depending on which clients I'm working with on a month, so that I'm not always, and for us working with clients, all you do for Facebook page, for example, or group, you make us and YouTube, a non-active admin that allows us to add that destination. Roger, so far.
Oh, yeah. So the other thing that I would just say is, so what happens quite often when I work with clients is they arrive as my client and they've got 7 different social media profiles, and I say, whoo, too many. Let's refine them down. Let's focus our efforts. But if you have already got those accounts set up, I don't recommend you delete any of them. I recommend you keep them, and then you create header images and a post that signpost people from that one way. It's not your primary social media platform, I signpost you to where I want you to follow me, which is, for me, is on Instagram or Facebook. Don't really keen on Facebook. Anyway, we direct people. But if you maintain those social media platforms, when you come to live stream, you can live stream out to those, even though you're not regularly posting to those platforms, because I want you to focus on one and get really good at using that one. Because of the way this is set up, it means that you can project your lives out to all of those things, to Instagram, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to your YouTube channel. All of those places you can do it simultaneously. So even though you're not using them regularly, you can still be putting some fresh content out there at 0 effort on your part.
Brilliant. Absolutely spot on. 100%. Limey, you're the best student I've ever had. David Toffey, if you're watching this, mate, you were pretty good, mate, but I have to say this is pretty cool. So yeah, so they're the destinations and they all appear there, and you can go into each one and reconnect them or move them, because sometimes they will drop out. It's just the nature of technology. So you just reconnect them. Now, if you want to add another destination, voila, this is where you go to live stream. And there's a quick idiot's guide there for people like me, which is always pretty good. And so, for example, if I wanted to, let's not just do that one. Let's pick an easy one. Whoops. Let's go to Facebook page. Okay, so there you go. It's telling me that all of those are already connected. Broomfield Garden and Landscaping and Design, brilliant company over here in Ireland. So what will happen is they've already given us permission as a non-active admin. It had dropped out because we haven't restarted their shows this year. And if we go down, we should find them, and there they are. Yeah. So brilliant, and that is how you just simply add a destination. And again, in members, we've got Dave Topping runs our also Rano show, and also does our videos and our podcasting, our short and our podcasting and things. So today, for example, Jill there at the bottom, we gave her permission so she can add in her own academy, which was easier. So that's the back office. Now,
and I think that's kind of just really quickly. So I really want people to understand how simple this is. Like, I know lots of people get really hung up on the tech and how complicated tech can be and how it kind of becomes a big cloud hanging over you. But actually, this is, Joe literally said, Jill, just go to your thing, click the thing, and it added it. It is super, super simple. So don't feel, because this looks imposing, it actually, as a non-techie person, it's incredibly usable.
And that's why we set up Livestream Academy, that underpins Livestream Solutions. So we work because we want to be working with people, because technology is fast changing, and especially with AI coming in. Yeah. So we work with the clients and take them through step by step, and that's all part of the process. So there we go. Let's see how we briefly set something up. So here we go to the create button, and you can do an internal recording like those ones I showed you. You can actually host a webinar. You can do an on-air webinar. I'm not going to go cover those today. The recording is fairly straightforward. It just means that you can do a meeting internally. How professional is that with a potential new client? Or if you want to give an update to one of your clients and say, okay, listen, blah, 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 blah. Go through different things, share images, explain to them so that they don't have to come in and see you necessarily. If it's just a catch up, how you doing, etc. It's just a very, very professional way to do things at a distance. But we're looking at doing a live stream. So there we go. We're not doing a pre-recorded video. We're doing a studio live. And all of these are all of those destinations you saw before. So, for example, if I go to Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy, you will see this. So title, we'll put a title in for it because that's what you see. Testing the studio. And you can put everything that you saw on the scheduled post, whether it was in the Academy or Livestream Solutions or on YouTube, it's the same. So the description was the same throughout, and you can write whatever you want, really, and we can help people with that. Schedule for later. So that drops down, and again, it tells you how many characters you've got on each of those boxes. So today at, let's go for, where are we? Let's go for, it doesn't really matter, 4:45 p.m. And then you can upload a thumbnail. So let's just, I don't know, let's just find something in here. There we go. Simple as that. So I've got my Google Drive associated with my computer. So everything that I upload, if it's downloaded to the computer, I upload it. It syncs with the drive. Sorry, that's the expression I'm looking for. It syncs with the drive automatically, which is absolutely superb, and vice versa. So that's the thumbnail from today. People need help with thumbnails and stuff like that. Funny old thing, we can help with that. So there you go. So that is you ready to go. And what you do is you click live stream, and it will take a moment or two to, you should still be seeing that, Jill?
Yeah. I can see it's thinking.
It's a bit like me. It sometimes works.
It takes a little while to get going.
Yeah, especially in the morning. So there we go. We are creating, and effectively, bump. There we go. And as if by magic, there's our test one. So that's scheduled today to go out. And again, each individual show comes up with its own individual code for people to access to get into the studio. There's even an instructions for guest leaflet. There's a blog on what guests can do that StreamYard have put together for us. You know, it is so fantastic. So I copy that. I then send that to somebody. And it's as simple as that. And then, I might get a bit of feedback for a second. When you're ready to go in for your live show, you log in, you click Enter Studio. It allows you, you're still seeing that. Brilliant. It allows you, then let me put myself on mute so I don't get any feedback. It allows you to put your name and your details, and there you go. That is us in another studio. I then add myself in, et voila.
Yeah.
Let me, is there anything else you want on that, Joe, before I leave? Let's leave the studio.
You're going to show us the studio and how all the different elements that you can do inside the studio. We've got 9 minutes left.
That's fine. Okay, so very quickly we go into the studio, and so this is what you should see, and literally all the guests are in the bottom part. So I then add myself to the stage, and you can, if there's somebody else there, you can put it in different. Obviously, it's only on single format, but as you saw before, we have all of these variants at the bottom. So when we were sharing the screen, we've got the cinema layout for that. This is what you would see. So we went live to 8 places today. Up on this top bar here, top right-hand corner where it says go live, obviously we've only scheduled to 1 place. You can edit that. You can go in and edit it if you found a mistake when you've checked it online, or remove. You can review it on Facebook. And again, banners. So all the banners that you create, no matter how many studios you go into, are there until you take them away. So that's the one we're using in our other studio.
Yeah.
As simple as that. And you can just create a banner. You can have it as, let's just put that in, add banner, show. It will just come up as a static banner. Or you can hide that and you can put it in as in fact, I've taken that one off and I haven't put it as a scrolling banner. So you can put it in as a scrolling banner like that one as well. It's just how you set them. You can change the colors. When we go into branding, again, here, I have a whole range of different ones I use for different clients. We add new ones in whenever we do a new series of 3 or 6 monthly ones for them. And so everything is in there. So there's the background for the 3-Bod Rugby group that the guys use. Livestream Solutions, obviously, we're using now. But you can see where it goes. Rugby Academy Ireland. There we go for that one. Coffeedog.ie or coffee supplier. Oh, go to coffeedog.ie if you like a really heavy, deep coffee and look for Chef's Blend. Unadulterated plug there, but it is absolutely brilliant. And Johnny won't forgive me if I have then. So there we go. So that's what we've got. And you've got different themes. So where you see my name and details there, that's Bubble. You can change that to a classic theme, minimalistic at the bottom there, or you can put it into a block. So whatever, you can take off show headlines. You can add that in. You can take off show the display names, etc. as well. So that's under branding. The logos. So where we've got practice momentum in the top right-hand corner, you can add whatever logo you want. Mm-hmm. The overlays, we build them in Canva as well. You can produce your own and give them to us. And again, so I can take off that overlay, but it just looks professional having an overlay on. Any overlays, any thumbnail or image, and again, produce those for the shows that you're given. Or like Jill did before, you know, you can share. In fact, I'll come back to that in a second. So, overlays are there. Videos. Any videos that you want, again, it will tell you, enable loop to it. On each of these, it will tell you the size, for example, the overlay. It will tell you the size that is recommended size or the file size to be able to use as well. But again, we take you through all this, Jill, don't we?
Indeed.
Video clips, we've got countdown buttons. We've got different backgrounds. We can change all the backgrounds around. There's me a little pub. There we go. In fact, at the beginning of the show, the background was that. So we had that background and we put a plain background on. We can play music. And that's it. So there's a whole variety. You can do everything. And again, you can change your brand colors as everything else. You can set up a brand new brand and put it all from scratch in there, which is all pretty fantastic. What else? Along the bottom here, you can mute yourself off, or you can mute the guest. Stop the camera, and there's just an avatar speaker. That's an old picture, isn't it? Clearly. In your settings, you've got general settings, so full definition. You can do orientation. We've just added in portrait now. On the camera, for example, I use VCam AI. So I use a background. I'll just cut that just a second, and I'm on full definition. Touch up my appearance. I haven't tried this yet because let's not lie, there's no AI can be able to touch up my appearance. But I've got my main camera that I'm using is a C922. We're not going to cover cameras and technical equipment today, but this was my camera and my microphone were less than £100 for a professional video camera. And then I bought the VCam AI for the background systems. Audio, again, it's got the actual microphone that's on my camera, which is good enough, but I've got a Yeti stereo microphone, which is obviously, for me, is much better. Your speakers are tied into it, so you can have your different speakers coming out your system.
But can I also say that all I'm using is my plug-in microphone and the built-in camera in my laptop? Like, you do not need technical kit to do this.
No, you don't.
Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it.
Absolutely. And when we sit with you and go through it, we'll tell you what you need to do to get started.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
very
the barrier to entry is almost non-existent. It really is.
And again, virtual backgrounds there. So
there's a question. The tricky thing that I see is creating the content that people want to watch and keeping it engaging rather than the tech. Yeah. And I think, that comes down to knowing who your dream clients are, knowing what the problems are they're looking for solutions for, looking who you could collaborate with. So today, Joe and I are collaborating on this, but you could collaborate with a whole raft of other either healthcare practitioners, other specialists in your field. You could create, so this idea of having like a TV show, you could create a TV show specializing in helping a niche kind of patients. And each week or once a month, whenever you did your show, you could invite a new guest on and you could creating that expertise, that hub of expertise where people would want to go to listen to what you're doing. And one of the secrets with creating the engagement, as Joe has kind of been demonstrating, is you break it up by switching it from one speaker to another speaker, to playing a little bit of an intro, to doing a video, so it's not just me at the screen all the time. And that's one of the things that having this dashboard enables you to do, is to really mix up the visuals, mix up the audio, allow people to ask live questions and answer live questions, so creating some engagement. But it all really, from a healthcare perspective, it comes down to understanding who your dream patient is, what the problem is that you're looking to help them with, and creating just small sections of content. It doesn't have to be an hour. Keep it short, could be 20 minutes. Keep them engaged for 20 minutes on a specialist subject that people are going to be interested in, and then you will see that engagement. It won't happen overnight. You need to be consistent about creating this kind of content over time, where you build an audience, you build people who think, oh, there's that thing that Jonathan does on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to go and watch it. And so it really is about creating a niche resource targeted at your dream patients.
Yeah, absolutely. For some of our clients, we will do monthly. For some, we'll do bi-monthly. And for some, we'll do quarterly, because that ties in with the social media marketing strategy and the size they are, and whether they're doing artisan markets once a month. They don't need it every single month. But the content actually is the easiest thing in the world to do, because we build that with you. It's about telling a story. So normally we would do a 3-part episode with a new client over 3 months, same time, same day each month for those 3 months. And it's telling the story of where you've come from, where you are, where you're going to, what you provide, the service. People like people, as Jill said before. People like people, and people buy from people. Like, it's no like trust. You've got some other things, and you'll forgive me for my brain sounds like, but that basics of know, like, and trust, you build that up, and it's persistency and consistency. Even though we had to change our days from last week to this week because I was away on a funeral, what happened was we still kept we moved it today, but it was still 1 o'clock, and we still get people. So you're going from as is now will be is the way we explain it. So content is actually very, very simple. Don't overthink that, because we do that with you. Right, that's about it. It's the studio was very simple. We just wanted to give people a bit of a look-see around today that hasn't really been done before. Very quickly, because we're almost on time. I just wanted to those last bits, Jill. I wanted to cover when and who. When should you go live? What's optimum for you from your perspective for your clients?
I would like to see our clients do something once a month. And when during the week and the day really is dictated by who your dream target audience are. When are they available to be live watching something? Is it something that they can do on a Thursday evening while they're watching their daughter, son at swim club? Or is it something that they're going to have to do on a Saturday afternoon when everybody else is out at soccer? Or so, I don't know. But your when is really dictated by who.
Okay, let me just come back to you. And what was my final point? When and
the who.
And the who. Who can go?
I mean,
I think we've added that about 5 times, but who?
Literally anybody can do this. Like anybody. You've got a laptop and you've got a cheapy old plug-in microphone, you can do this. And as long as you've got one of the social platforms you can go live to, you can do it.
And very, very finally, announce what is the next steps.
So we have come up with this idea, this plan, that means that 10 of our Practice Momentum Academy members are going to be given the opportunity to work alongside Joe, if they wish, to produce a 20-minute program where they can produce their, Joe will help them create this program, and from that they can then decide what they want to leverage in terms of podcast, blog post, shorts, that kind of thing. And we're running it as a trial just to see, this is a kind of a little bit of a beta testing for us, but to see what a 20-minute program for a healthcare practice can look like. Can be branded, can be very niche in terms of subject matter, can be mixed up on the screen like we've talked about, making this visual mix up, and can then be spun for months to come in terms of your marketing, so that you can then look at producing this on an ongoing basis, one a month maybe going forward, but it's going to create some really high quality, engaging content for you, for your patients, for your potential patients, referrers, potential referrers, all of those things. And we're going to open that to 10 Practice Momentum Academy members. I couldn't get my words out then. Oh, we can't hear you, Joe. We can't hear you. He forgot to press the button.
Yeah, that's something else that you do when you're on your own, because when you're typing away, you try and put yourself on mute. I need to use my hotkeys more. That's something else that we can go to another time. So 10 people. So there we go. A canter through today, 1 hour. Just over the hour. It's absolutely superb on why we live stream and where we live stream and how we live stream and when and who can do it. So there we go. So what we need to do is contact Jill, or for anybody who's not part of the Practice Momentum Global family, contact me at live stream.
Jonathan's already put his hand up. So
or one of the team. Jonathan, you deserve, sir. You deserve. I'm interested. Of course, you are, sir. You deserve to have your name up. Okay, cool. Get hold of Jill, and then we will all get together. But I hope everybody's had enjoyed that. It may seem that there's a lot to do there, but it isn't. And genuinely, if someone like me can teach themselves, and I started teaching myself 6 years ago, it's great. And Jill, I was so glad, because she picked it up in literally days, let alone years. So it's absolutely brilliant. Jill, give us a final thought.
Oh, I really do think, and I've seen this now as coming trend inside social media marketing. Like, so many people now, and especially in healthcare, are going live, are live streaming. And I just think in our industry, this is a really great tool for us to use to build that human connection with potential patients and to market our services. And as I say, all you've got to do with your marketing is to become famous locally for the thing that you do. And live streaming is absolutely going to give you that kind of foot up, if you like, that helping hand to get there.
Great. I've been Joe Shepherd, head of live streaming and engagement here at Livestream Solutions, a live stream academy, chatting again on part 2. Part 1 still available, by the way. Go to any of the Practice Momentum groups, pages, sites, YouTube, etc., and the same for Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy. Jill Woods, has been an absolute pleasure again. We will chat soon, and we look forward. Jonathan, she'll be in touch with you.
And thank you to everybody who showed up, took part, gave us their eyeballs, all of that thing. I really, really appreciate you taking the time today to be with us. So thank you.
We'll see you soon. Take care. How are you?